Unscripted.
I mean, I think we all can kind of agree that Sony is up to something. They obviously have to be up to something with all the news that's going around and all the things that people are talking about. I just feel like, we're at this sort of crossroads for PlayStation where they could possibly turn into a company that is getting away from what got them where they are. And what I mean by that is PlayStation, even though they were a company and companies are all about money, and I get that, they really seem to put the gamer first. And now a lot of the things that are going on seems to maybe not do that. They also put developers first, which put them in a very good, interesting situation because developers would go to them with their smaller projects and they would greenlight them, and it was easy to get greenlit by Sony, no matter if you were a big or small developer. Now that's sort of possibly going a different way, and people aren't really necessarily on board with that. I don't think it maybe necessarily signals the end of anything, but when you have so many things piling on top of each other that's negative, I think that we start to maybe kind of get feeling down about PlayStation. But let's not forget that what goes up goes down, and then what goes down goes up. The PlayStation 3 was probably the lowest point for PlayStation, lost a bunch of money, but still ended up, in second place by the time that generation was all said and done. And that sprungboard them into the PlayStation 4, which was a phenomenal success. I don't personally understand why Sony keeps making all these different moves and decisions that are pretty much the polar opposite of what happened with the PS4. Like, you had such a successful device, why would you change everything around? I absolutely don't understand that, but at the same time, I'm not a millionaire, I'm not like a super businessman or anything like that, so it's really just kind of hard saying. But I do want to talk about it because I think it merits talking, and I'm very interested to hear what everybody else has to say about this. There was a leak today that basically kind of dictates what Sony's plans are for the future, and I wanted to get into that for sure as well. Hey, what's up everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you very much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel and it means a lot to me personally. If you guys are looking for a way to help out a little small crappy channel like mine, the best way to do it, a simple like. We really do appreciate that as content creators. When you go out there and like the videos, it helps them be seen and stuff like that. So don't take that for granted. You actually help out tremendous amount, and it's much appreciated for sure. So with that being said, shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everybody in between. I really do think you guys are fantastic, amazing, phenomenal people, and just all the support and help and stuff like that you guys are giving me has been fantastic. But I do kind of want to get into this before too long because I feel like the news is just really popping today, and it's just so interesting to see how this is all coming about and how everybody's talking about it and things like that. So we obviously know about all the bad stuff that's been going on, but you know what, there's also a lot of good stuff that's going on, and I think it's definitely worth talking about just from a standpoint of being able to get this out there. And again, I love talking about the good stuff, and this is good stuff. I mean, this is competition. This is what it's all about. You guys might know David Jaffe. I did an interview with them. Could possibly still do a podcast with him. We're kind of putting stuff together, seeing how it goes. But he created God of War, Twisted Metal, really, really good games, and he really understands kind of what's going on in the industry and stuff like that. And so with that being said, we're just living in one of these kind of day and ages where everything that kind of comes about for a reason. And he was talking about on a podcast exactly what to possibly expect as a counterpunch to Xbox and Xbox Game Pass. So the pressure is obviously mounting on Sony to offer a proper response to Xbox Game Pass, as Microsoft has been aggressively pushing their subscription service, even making the Sony-developed MLB The Show 21 a Day 1 Game Pass release through a backdoor deal with Major League Baseball themselves. Now, while Sony hasn't really had much to say or announce in response, hello, Sony, are you still alive out there? Hello, 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 hello. Of course, Sony has had PlayStation Now subscription service, which is actually relatively popular, but nowhere near as popular as Xbox Game Pass. But then again, they're not giving it away on a box of Pop-Tarts, so that could be a bit of a thing there of itself. It doesn't capture the headlines or feel like a real system seller the way Game Pass does. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan has hinted at a more direct, forceful response to Game Pass is coming, but declined to provide further details. So when are we going to actually find out more? When is Sony going to open up? Give us some kind of roadmap about this. Give us some kind of idea about these changes that are going to happen. Well, on the most recent episode of his podcast, outspoken God of War creator David Jaffe teased that Sony is indeed working on a proper counterpunch to Xbox Game Pass. He says, and I quote, "We had the guy on the show yesterday that had made the petition to fire Jim Ryan, and I was like, dude, that's way premature because Jim Ryan doesn't owe anybody. Sony doesn't owe anybody. The truth about what's coming and what their counterpunch to Game Pass is, what I can tell you is I know they are doing some stuff because I know people at Sony who have told me that they are doing some stuff. There will be a response to Game Pass." Now, obviously, you can't really mince words. David Jaffe is a controversial figure. Is he really controversial? I don't know if he's controversial as much as he just doesn't fall in line with what the common herd sheep mentality is. I guess you're controversial when you don't echo and say everything that everybody else is saying at the same time. So that's very interesting to me when that always kind of comes up and people think somebody's controversial. He hasn't worked for Sony for a while. That said, it's also pretty clear that he has contacts within the company and has accurately spilled the beans on PlayStation-related matters in the past. So, again, it's up to you to decide how much salt to take with this. As for what Sony's Game Pass counterpunch might take, Jaffe says he doesn't know for sure, but he hopes it isn't just a souped-up PlayStation Now. He says, what Sony's Game Pass response is, we don't know. Here's what I would say I worry about. If Jim Ryan thinks the proper response to Game Pass is to emulate backwards compatibility, PS3 games, PS2, and PS1, and then to also add trophies, which is what the patent suggests they're going to do, and they're going to fold in all the movies and stuff to make a streaming service, he's absolutely wrong if he thinks mixing it with PS Now is the way to go. So personally, I think that, they're going to have some way to download these games. Like the streaming stuff by itself just doesn't work. It's not really an accurate kind of way to kind of get things to work and showcase your stuff. With that being said, obviously they're working on something. We know they're working on something. Jim Ryan said they're working on something. I think they're trying to decide what a happy medium is. They obviously need their big AAA stuff, The Last of Us and the Uncharted and the God of Wars, to launch big movie theater type productions, to launch at like a full price, right? They need that. But that's not to say that they can't have some stuff and buy some stuff perhaps that launches day and date in PlayStation Now, and they have to maybe rebrand it, maybe mix it with PlayStation Plus, bring some more stuff in there day and date, even third-party stuff, I think would be better, because when you're looking down the idea of what PlayStation Plus is versus, or PlayStation Now versus Xbox Game Pass, very similar in a lot of ways. PlayStation Now is about the third of the cost, but the games are older, or they're a lot of the same games, but they don't put in the new games as much. Like, even though Xbox usually puts in like AA and small indie games, there's a lot to be said for that stuff, as opposed to what's happening on the PlayStation side. Like PlayStation, it's a big deal they get Avengers. That game's 6-7 months old, but that's still newer than what they normally would do. So they do have to find that kind of medium. I am one of the people that thinks they absolutely should not and will not do day and date for their big AAA exclusives. I don't know what that could lead to, but I don't think it's going to lead to anything great. And with the interesting stuff that's going on, I think that we're going to be able to see a situation where we're just going to see, big games coming from PlayStation. That leaked out. People just want, they just want the big stuff, the surefire hits. And so I think that could have something to do with a lot of stuff that's going on as well. So with that being said, I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions as well. Anything you guys could talk about or hit me up in the comment section, I would much appreciate it. And I obviously think the world of you guys and much appreciate everything that you guys do for me and all the stuff that you help me out with and things like that. It's really awesome. Honestly, I can't say enough good things about any of you, because you guys have always been there for me, and I just ask for a simple like, if you guys wouldn't mind that. So I do appreciate that. Thank you guys for rocking out with me and just being great friends and great supporters of the channel. Have a fantastic day. Rack 'em up, Game on, my friends. Game on. And as always, if you ever want to hit me up, you can hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Xbox Live. You can hit me up on PSN. And I'll respond to everybody. But what do you think about this? Do you think Sony needs a huge counterpunch to Microsoft? Is this the type of stuff you've been interested in? Let me know. Thank you for watching. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.